Come on in, Charlie. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, so the last few sessions I met with you and your husband, and it seems like you guys are going through a rough one. I want to take this opportunity just to kind of meet with you one-on-one to see how you feel. Just to make sure that there isn't anything that you're leaving out in sessions. Maybe you might be uncomfortable sharing in front of him or with me. I just want to give you this opportunity to tell me what you're really thinking about your whole marriage, relationship, everything that touches it. You said you have kids, so I want to know how they feel about the relationship that you two have or how it's going to impact them. So start by telling me anything.
Well, I'm glad that I am here with just you today because there are points that come in our sessions where I'm talking about what's bothering me and, he feels, I guess, like a bad guy when we get back home. He's just like, why'd you bring it up to her, and so.
So what specifically did you guys had a fight about this the last time you had a session? Okay, so about
when I brought up how lazy he is around the house and how he doesn't really do anything. He can help out with, things around the house and bringing the kids to and from school whenever I need him to,
Do you feel he's pulling his weight at all, or?
No, not really.
Okay, we're gonna get into that in a little bit. So I want you to talk about how you feel when he isn't helping you. Like, what type of pressure does that put into your life? Does it?
It puts a lot of pressure because it makes me feel I'm responsible for every single thing, and he doesn't really take responsibility for anything.
Now, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Just the other day, the fact that he also hides things from me, like it hurts me. So I brought it up to him the other day about him, he'll lie and say he's going to work when he's going to a friend's house, and I just feel like that opportunity can be used to be spent with me or the kids or helping me with anything around the house.
Sure. So when he lies to you about where he's going, like, is there thoughts of infidelity? Do you just feel like he doesn't want to be around?
I just feel like he doesn't want to be around. I feel like if he is hiding these things from me, I find out he's at a friend's house at a party.
Okay.
It just hurts my feelings that he doesn't want to be with his family during his free time.
Now, thinking of you and just the kids without him there, how does that make you feel?
I can tell the kids can sense something is going on, They ask me questions a lot. Why do you guys fight so much, And it's hard to break up a family. I grew up in a broken family, and I grew up okay, but there's a lot of hurt going on everywhere. Just moving back between my mom and my dad, I wouldn't want my kids to be put through that, but I'd rather them go through that than to be living in a tense household every day.
Exactly. And you are 100% right about wanting to save this to prevent what happened to you to happen to your own children. So I understand that you are a little bit reluctant to try and pull the plug, but at the same time it sounds to me that you feel exhausted.
Extremely exhausted. I feel I'm fighting to keep this whole family together, and he's not making one effort.
Okay. So realistically, what could he do to put his effort in? Like, if you were to sit back and be like, okay, I'm seeing some change, what would that require from him?
Just even something as small as, a family movie night, ordering pizza together. He just seems like he doesn't want to be around any of us. And he won't even talk to me to explain to me why he's been so distant. So that's a little bit exhausting too,
Feels very removed.
Exactly.
Now, was this the relationship you had with your dad? Was he very removed from the family?
He was at first when I
Okay.
grew up, yes.
How did you deal with that?
I was young. I was about 6, but my dad would always go out and lie to
Was there like a babysitter or like a relative that you stood with often when they both
Yes.
weren't around? Okay.
Yes.
Now, did you have a good relationship with them, or?
Somewhat.
Somewhat?
We're distant now, but
Yeah, I mean, it happens over the years. So, what do you think you learned from being back and forth between your mom and your dad at such a young age?
I learned to be a lot more responsible because I had to take care of two younger siblings. So I learned to grow up, or I had to grow up quicker than most. So
It sounds like it's a lot like what you're doing right now.
yeah, and I don't want my kids to feel like they're responsible for anything. They're just
Exactly.
kids. You know?
Exactly. It's hard for them to understand what's going on, and you don't want your kids to believe that this is what each relationship they're going to go to is what you want to kind of put an end to the cycle without repeating the cycle.
Exactly.
I gotcha. So one thing I want to share with you, Charlie, is my own concern. This is my profession, and I've been doing this for years, and I've seen many cases like you and your husband, and I've seen them work out, and I've seen them take a left turn into something a little bit more. Sometimes they decide to end it. I want to know how you feel about. Do you think that he is violent? Is he threatening? Is he threatening or?
He's not exact. He'll get angry and yell and scream, but
He would
he's
never harm you.
Exactly. He would never lay a hand on me.
Good. That is good then. Let's see. So one thing that I do want to I want to address your most pressing emotion. Like this morning. Like just go with the first thought that popped into your head this morning about you and your husband. Do you still share in the same bed or?
We do. He's up later than I am, so. But I just feel like, okay, like here goes another day. Like, take a deep breath and hope that it can go smoother than I did the day before.
Do you feel that you're the only one putting in effort?
I do.
You do? Okay. So what you basically want him to work on is putting in more effort to see if this is worth saving.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's good. It's also exhausting to think that you're just kind of trapped in this repetitive every day, like, here we go again. So how about you personally? Does it affect you in other areas, work, social life?
I'm not as focused at work. During the day I find myself to be more tired, maybe because I'm even worrying about it, during the time I should be resting. But it's something that is on my mind constantly. So it's hard to focus on other things when it's time to focus on other things.
Distracting. Yeah. Do you have that same feeling when you were growing up as well?
No, it was quite the opposite. I would actually put all my focus on school when I was younger, just to distract my mind from everything else that was going on.
That's good. And do you sense that your kids are doing the same, or do you think it affects their schoolwork as well?
They don't have any problems in school, so.
Okay, well that's definitely good, because the last thing that we would want to do is now to worry about replacing your children in another like education program, holding them back a year, etc. So before we are out of time, I want to go over with you just one more thing about effective communication with your partner. I know that he probably took a big step in agreeing to come to counseling. It sounds like he's very reluctant and ambivalent, and I do look forward to meeting with him our next section. So when you are upset with him, you are able to communicate that with him, or he just kind of knows?
I try.
You try?
But he's just never wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
But it is a huge step that he comes here as well, At least he's talking a little bit. But at home he doesn't bring anything up. He's very to himself.
Okay. So we'll put that on our list of goals to accomplish, in therapy. So we are definitely going to work on breaking down that stone wall, and we're definitely going to work on maybe helping you refocus, like at work, and you do need an outlet to be able to feel better about this entire situation. He clearly has one, but he's not in your position as it seems. you know, you've gone through this before, so you are familiar with this emotion and how you should react. So, you know, believe it or not, you are better off than you think. So I want you to keep that mindset that you had when you were younger and just be strong and stay focused as much as you can. Look forward to these sessions, and we're going to start working on things, and we're going to figure this out together.
Okay.
All right, Charlie, have a great day.